Fantastic.
Welcome to the NRBBA's Small Biz Live. My name's Mickey Marraffino, and I'm with Mickey Marketing on behalf of the NRBBA. Today we have with us Catherine Graham from the Financial Aid Shop. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you, Mickey Marraffino. So glad to be here and appreciate the support from the NRBBA. As always, a great organization supporting business owners in the South Bay.
Exactly. And especially our small little piece of North Redondo Beach, where we've got so many amazing businesses.
Certainly.
So Catherine, tell us about the Financial Aid Shop and how you got started with this concept. I've never heard of anything like this before.
Well, thanks for asking, Mickey. So my experience in financial aid started over 25 years ago. I started as a college student giving campus tours and hosting students overnight. And to go very quickly, I fell in love with financial aid because it does two things for me. It helps me stay in the world of finance and understand business, but it also serves my interest as a social entrepreneur and really tackling issues that our families face: high debt, complicated financial aid process. So I knew immediately when I fell into financial aid 25 years ago, this is what I wanted to do. Since then, I've worked for large and small, mid-sized colleges in the financial aid office, leading them. And about 5 years ago, I decided to start my own consulting business and continue to work for colleges and universities. About 2 years ago, I was at an event with the South Bay businesswomen, and I gave a presentation on my consulting. And at the end, I said, but if I really was doing what I love to do, it would be educating people about college financial aid. And everybody said, Catherine, that's what you should do. And it was that minute, that motivation that said, okay, I'm going to take my 30 years of experience and I'm going to launch this company, the Financial Aid Shop, and put together programs online that are easy and accessible for families to understand and educate them about college financial aid. Now, everyone knows that the college financial aid process is complicated. Families worry about high costs of college. We have a student loan debt problem in our country, $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. And I want to help families prepare for this financial aid process before the senior year so that they can have a rockin' good time with their kids and explore colleges. Let's get rid of the stress. Let's get rid of the debt. Let's give families the information that they need to know. So I've put together some online tools. The Financial Aid Formula for Fafsa filers is my primary tool. And I'm excited to be sharing it with students and families across the country. Now, on a fun note, the company's name, the Financial Aid Shop, is really a riff. Long time ago, when financial aid people would talk to other financial aid people, we would call and we'd say, how are things going in your shop? So I hadn't heard that term for a really long time. And as I was thinking about my company name, I'm like, well, I've got the Financial Aid Shop. So that's how the name came about. It was kind of riffing on what we used to call it. And it's a place where people can go to get information to really become empowered and feel confident about the financial aid process.
And you'll go a little bit into the details about what your online product is, but I think one of the things that I really admire about what you do is you focus on teaching the families about all the options they have versus saying, pay me $5,000 and I'll do it all for you.
Right.
So it really empowers the student and the parents to make the right decisions.
Yes. What's typically out there in this day and age to educate families is you pay a lot of money to have it done for you, or you can go to the internet and type in financial aid and get gazillions of hits and not know where to start. So where I feel we've got a product, the Financial Aid Formula for FAFSA filers, is a product that is a program that takes you from beginning to end and doesn't leave anything out. It's an empowerment process. It teaches families the vocabulary and the tools so that they can really be empowered and know how much college is going to cost. We provide the tools to help families determine their eligibility for financial aid, and we help them navigate should there be changes in their household size, and we help them plan for the entire 4 or 5 years of their kids' college education. So it's not a one and done. It's a full comprehensive program to support families plan and prepare for the financial aid journey and keep financial aid while they're in college.
So one step back, just the lingo. What is FAFSA?
So great question. You know, I've been doing this so long, so I appreciate you bringing that up. The FAFSA is the free application for financial aid, and students complete this in the senior year in high school for the first time, and then have to complete it every single year afterwards to determine their eligibility for financial aid. Colleges and universities use the data to determine their eligibility for financial aid. Now, one of the things that I always say is that families are typically waiting into the senior year to find out this information, but they don't have to. With the tools that we provide in our program, families will know everything they need to know and not have to wait until the senior year. I love talking to families with 8th and 9th graders because it takes about 3 years to really get a handle on the process. That being said, it is never too early or too late to start a family's financial aid education so they can become empowered and confident in the process. I like confident, let me just finish real quick. I love families who have the vocabulary because then when they call the financial aid office, Mickey, they can speak with confidence and get the financial aid that they need. This is super important at this time of COVID-19 where schools are not able to talk face-to-face. And we teach families how to appeal for financial aid using the language that the financial aid professionals need. So in this time where families are losing income and assets and might be spending their savings, we want families to appeal for financial aid, but they don't know how to. And that's one of the things that is really important that we teach in the financial aid formula.
So the financial aid formula is an online product that they can, how long does it take to go through it?
So the financial aid formula for FAFSA filers is for eligible citizens who are eligible for federal financial aid. It's an online program. It's comprehensive. It's 18 videos that come with workbooks and worksheets. All of my experience in financial aid, both in the past, present, and what's happening for the future. It takes about 12 hours to cover all of the content, but it's not something that a family has to rush through. We encourage families to bring their kids in and have conversations with them about college costs and affordability. It's something that could be done in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. It's not something to pound through because we want families to absorb and retain the information. The financial aid formula is one of those programs that is available for the entire family. I don't upcharge for more than one child in college, and I never take the program away. So if a family starts in 8th grade, they will have access to the program for as long as they need it. And we are constantly updating the content to make sure that it's current with what's happening in today's regulations.
That's what I was just going to ask you. So if someone did purchase it when their kids were, maybe just starting high school, then it would constantly be updated every single year with what's new with the FAFSA or any kind of regulation.
Yes, so interest rates change annually. I'm providing updated content about interest rates, changes to the application, et cetera. Yes.
Great. And there's no additional fee to get the updates either.
There's no additional fee. I have dropped the price of the program to make it affordable for more families throughout the United States. The program is $197 right now, and it's a one-time purchase. I've dropped the price substantially from $497 because I know how important counseling and financial aid literacy and helping families today, because our counselors are just not available and able to serve and support in this environment.
Right. Well, that's amazing. So if somebody does purchase the program, then is there a way for them to talk to you and ask you questions if they have any questions?
Absolutely. I am always available and responding to all emails and inquiries. One of the great things that is in this program is that there are options for families to, within the program, ask questions about the video, ask questions about the content. There's a help support system. So there's many ways for me to communicate with families while they're taking the course. And because I'm here for our families through their entire journey, they will always have access to me.
That's great and really generous. And you have a weekly Q&A that you do too. That's free to anybody, whether they purchase your class or not, right?
I actually, there's lots of ways that I'm continuing to share what's happening in the financial aid world. And I also cover admissions information too, because I do have an admissions background as well. So every Thursday from 6 to 7, I have a live Q&A on Zoom where a family can come in and ask any question that they want. I have a Friday financial aid newsletter where I'm constantly providing what's going on in the community. For example, my newsletter yesterday, I talked about things that families with kids going to college this fall need to do during the summer, and talked about ways to set up payment plans. But even though I'm talking to students who have college students this fall, this is really good information to families to learn about, to know that there's a PLUS loan resource for parents, that there are payment plan options. So while the conversation might be targeted one week, it really is applicable for families learning about the process.
Exactly.
If I could, Mickey, I'd also like to share that I have a planning resource, 5 college planning steps to get financial aid and scholarships and plan for a debt-free education. This is a free guide. I have 5 steps that help families start their college planning journey at no cost. It's a complimentary guide, and I strongly encourage families to go to my website and draw down this guide to help them start thinking about their college planning process.
And your website address is?
www.thefinancialaidshop.com.
Okay, well, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And then if we want to get information about the Zoom and how to get the Zoom information for your Thursday class, where will we find that?
So the information about my Thursday night class is on my website under programs live Q&A call. And it's also available on my Facebook page. I'm constantly posting videos, talking about the industry, posting lighthearted things. We're talking about graduation, but I'm also in my Facebook page talking about what's happening in the news currently about financial aid and college admissions.
What are some of the issues now with COVID-19?
So there's a couple of things that are really important, and I already mentioned them, is the appeal process. With families losing income and assets, it's super important that every family that has applied for financial aid appeal for additional financial aid. And there are very specific processes that are outlined by the college, and schools should be following them. But at the end of the day, Mickey, I encourage families to appeal for financial aid every single year because there's always new money that's available and you just never know. The other thing that's happening as a result of COVID-19 is that students that are currently in repayment do not have to make payments on their student loans, and all loans are at zero interest until September of 2020. Now, we're not sure yet if this is going to be the same terms and conditions for the upcoming fall, but as we see extensions from the federal governments for business owners, perhaps we'll see some extensions for new students who are borrowing as well, so that their interest could go to zero and not have to make payments. But I don't want to make any guarantees. But right now, students that are in repayment do not have to be making payments on their student loans, which is a very, very good thing. And the interest has dropped down to zero. So the students that are in repayment are not being punished right now. I think the biggest challenge for families is that there's no counseling support. And families are struggling as to what to do this fall. Should they send their student away to college? Should they stay local? Should they go to the community college? Should they take the gap year? If I could, I'd like to just share my personal opinion is that I worry for students taking a gap year. It's important that they stay in school so that they can at least progress towards their degree and start joining and earning Mickey, I can't hear you. I think we've covered some great conversations for having me. And I look forward to serving and supporting our community with financial aid education.